So, all right, last one here, and I think this is the big one that may affect Dallas. Antonio Daniels talks about how Daryl Morey is just waiting on one guy to trade Ben Simmons, and I thought his answer was interesting.
So let's say Ben Simmons does end up getting traded at some point this season. What team do you think he ends up on?
That's a great question as well. I don't think we know because, it seems as if Daryl Morey is waiting on one guy. He seems like he's waiting on one guy. And that one guy, number 0 out in Portland. There have been numerous trade offers for Ben Simmons. But Daryl Morey is waiting on that guy. He's waiting on that guy to say, well, you know what? I don't want pennies on the dollar for Ben Simmons. If I have an opportunity to get rid of him, and I do choose to get rid of him, I'm getting rid of him for a guy that is going to put me and even propel me forward. So you've heard Sacramento, you've heard Portland, but you haven't heard Damian Lillard. It's been more CJ McCollum and Covington and some of those guys. You've heard San Antonio mentioned. So I don't know. It seems as if Daryl Morey is waiting on that guy. So now the thing to watch is not just the Ben Simmons situation in Philadelphia, but also watch because of what Damian Lillard said last year about Portland not having enough. Right now, he is all in, and he said it. Damian Lillard, I am all in here in Portland. But what happens if the Portland Trailblazers don't get off to that start that Damian Lillard would like them to? Are we having a different conversation come November and December about Ben Simmons now for Damian Lillard?
Ooh, if it does happen, let's just go the hypothetical route. We love the hypotheticals. We deal in them all the time.
Yes.
If Damian Lillard gets traded for Ben Simmons, something happens, it makes it happen. What does that change for the Mavericks? What does that change for the West?
Well, I think it takes Portland out of that group that I think the Mavs are in. A lot of people look at the West and it's like, hey, Lakers, Suns, Jazz. For a lot of people, we'll put those 3 teams at the top. And then that second group being Dallas, Clippers, Portland, Denver, somebody else I'm forgetting probably in that group too. And it's like, all right, well, if Portland makes that trade, like, I don't care how good Ben Simmons can be in Portland, they're not going to be as good as if they had Damian Lillard. So it just takes them out of that. And it's just more competition, it's less competition for Dallas to have a seed in, the 4, 5, 6 range.
Yeah, if the Mavericks faced the Blazers, like a healthy Blazers, healthy Mavericks, both teams dealt with stuff last year. Everyone knows the Mavs dealt with COVID situations. Blazers dealt with a lot of injuries last year too. So you could say that both teams underperformed last year for those reasons. So if the Mavs and Blazers both they both faced off in the playoff series, as a team, I'm a little bit worried about because of Damian Lillard, right? He's the guy that is an X factor, a wild card, basically. That doesn't happen if you have Ben Simmons instead of Damian Lillard. I don't think any other player with Ben Simmons can be packaged. Like, even if they get Tobias Harris, which is insane, that wouldn't happen. But like, even if they get Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris, that team doesn't worry me up in Portland. So that takes the Blazers out of contention, I think, for the playoffs. Honestly, It's so tough in the West right now. There's so many teams that are trying to get there. Last year, the Lakers and Warriors finished 7th and 8th, and the Warriors didn't even make the playoffs. The Memphis Grizzlies did because they're that scrappy team that won in the play-in. So, yeah, I think it totally takes them out if that happens.
If I'm Portland, though, I would entertain it for anything outside of Dame. And with the kind of twofold thing of you take a swing, you go get, do the CJ McCollum for Ben Simmons type thing. You take the swing, and if Damian Lillard wants out in a year, then you already have a young cornerstone to if you want to build around him. And now you're taking the trade package you'd get back from Damian Lillard and adding to that young players, draft picks, and everything. So, I mean, it sounds like Philly's, wanting more than what they could offer, but still, I would swing for it if it was CJ McCollum and another piece for him.
Well, the last that we heard about this was that the Sixers wanted 3 pick swaps or 3 picks and 3 pick swaps and a player. Yeah. So you're like, okay, now you're just like, they're still just asking for way too much. So I'm not sure CJ McCollum is like,
this is like Tyler Hero saying he's in the same category as,
how have we not talked about that yet? How have we not got into this yet? The Tyler Hero is like, I feel like I'm in the same category as Trae Young and Luka Doncic and all that.
Him and Daryl Morey have a Spider-Man meme looking at each other like, hey, we just spout out lies or we overvalue people. And come on, Tyler Hero, you had a cool stretch, but Miami's cool. I know you're feeling yourself down there, but
There you go. Guys, we will be back tomorrow breaking down the Hornets preseason game. We will break down all the first, second, third, and fourth quarter action of Luka and KP. Because
Go LaMelo.
That's what Jason Kidd said. We will not be breaking down Terry Rozier. He's not playing. So
Go Mavs. We need a good Mavs win, but we need some fun LaMelo highlights.
thanks for making Locked On Mavs your first listen every single day. We will be back tomorrow with a promo with the breakdown of the Hornets game. Make your second listen today, Locked On Fantasy Basketball with Josh Lloyd. He's been doing amazing stuff all throughout the beginning of the season. Guys, thanks so much for listening to Locked On Mavs.
Peace out.
Boom.